Welcome to Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast. I am your host, Miss D. On this weekly show, you will tune in to discussions of different topics about today's society, culture, and adulthood. Of course, there's always juicy conversation with a little bit of love and plenty of sex. And let's not forget the stories of all relationships and the mess with relationships. Join me every week along with my friends and guests to get your dose and keep it raw on everything and anything. And remember, no topic is off limits. Welcome back, everyone, to another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast. I am your host, Miss D. And this week, I have the one and only...
So, that's good.
Harlem King.
What's up? What's going on?
I can't take you. All right. We're clearly lit and we haven't drank shit, nor are we high. So I'm going to have to move back these microphones for the both of us. But I've got Harlem literally in the house. Harlem had no choice but to join me.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
All right. Because I kind of saw that he was on somebody else's podcast.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Okay, he was on Dirty Talk Podcast.
Yep.
Pretty dope episode.
Yes.
The moment I saw that you were on Dirty Talk, I said, he can't say no to me now. So let me hit him up. And before we start and before we dive into the icebreaker, we just got the news. We just saw on social media the passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, RIP, to this amazing woman who has fought a long fight for her health, for everything and anything that she represents, really. It's just pretty fucked up. 2020 keeps fucking us over. And Harlem and I just decided to stop talking because it turns out every time he and I have a conversation, somebody passes away.
Somebody dies, man.
The last time...
It was Chad.
We found out together.
All of a sudden, like, the alert just comes through the phone and it was like, oh, Chad Boseman passed away. Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? We were like so confused with life. We did not understand what the fuck just happened.
I swear to God, like, the world stopped for me. Like,
it did.
It really did, because, like, that impacted me just as much as when, like, we lost Nipsey Hussle.
I
like,
remember that.
When Nipsey Hussle died,
Yeah.
like, I remember, like, how I felt. And I felt, like, the exact same way when Chad passed away. And it was just, like, I can't believe it.
So I came to know of Nipsey because of Lauren London.
Right.
I came to know of him being with her and their relationship. Right. So that's where I came to know of him. I'd be lying to you if I say I was like a diehard fan. I came to know of him pretty later in his career. Mm-hmm. And let me just say that was, I think that in all the years of social media, to see things in real time, I think that is probably one of the most devastating video footage of her running into that hospital looking for her husband. Yeah. The fact that they put that shit out there, it was heartbreaking. So RIP still to Nipsey. The other one, we didn't know each other when Kobe died, but that's another hard hit. And 2020 is just trash.
2020 is like Steph would say, it's a fucking dub. Like,
yeah, like it's just fucking trash. Like it's like every fucking day we're finding out of yet another person passing away.
Exactly. And I remember I was telling Mom after Chad died, I was saying to her, like, you know what, like, we're losing our heroes.
Right?
We really are. Like, we're really losing our heroes this year.
I'm gonna say what you did.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the day we were talking, we were chatting. What were we doing? We were gossiping or we were having a debate? Oh, it was the rum cake.
Yes, the chocolate rum cake. Yes, the chocolate rum cake.
That's what it was. So I had just gone back from Jamaica, so we were talking about that. And we get the news of Chad passing away. And I literally looked up at Harlem and I said, fuck, I gotta tell Marcus or Marcus is gonna find out. Yeah. And was it that he found out? And
he walked in into the room
mm-hmm.
and he was like, yo, Mom. And he had his head down.
Yeah.
And I knew right away what it was.
Yeah.
And he came in. I remember he gave you a big hug and he was crying.
He was crying.
I was like, damn, man.
So Harlem witnessed my Pisces overly emotional son.
She had a mom. She had a mom-son moment.
A mom-son moment. He was like crying. And Harlem so very nicely came in today with a very nice gesture for my Marcus. And he definitely made my kid very happy. He brought him a mask and a shirt with Black Panther on it. And by mask, I don't mean the Black Panther mask. I mean like a safety, wear your mask before you get fined type of mask. That type of a mask. So kudos to Harlem and thank you so much because you really made my son happy just now.
Thank you.
That's fucking dope as fuck. So thank you.
Nah,
I appreciate that.
I mean, like when it touched me when I saw that moment. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, and I just felt like, you know, if I ever got a chance to meet you in person and to meet him, that I would love to give him a gift like that because I know that was like his hero.
Yeah, so. Yeah. He liked it. You saw his face.
Oh man, his eyes lit up. You know?
Yeah.
I was like,
he has telling eyes like his mama.
Yeah, just like you. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's the truth.
You know what, Harlem? I feel slightly attacked in your tone right now.
Okay, all right.
You know what? You know, at least you're your true self.
Yes, and you are too.
And I am
and
too.
That's what I like.
That's how we. This is what you call. You know what this is, ladies and gentlemen? This is
growth.
That's what it is. It's growth.
I've been waiting to say that for so long.
Harlem and I are able to talk to each other like this because we're legit virtual friends who just met today for the first time in person. But it's like we know each other for so long, right? Yeah. We just met through, who was it? Carla's Live?
Carla's Live, yeah.
Carla's Live, Coach Carla. Shout out to Coach Carla and Idea to Launch Academy. Go to the show description. Click that link so you can join if you want to start a podcast.
Yes.
Woo! That was the plug right there.
Oh, no. It was great. It was great. Shout out to Carla.
But shout out, yes. And so because Harlem accepts me so much just the way I am and how he's met me, he knows that like any other show and any other episode, we are going to play a game for an icebreaker. But you were supposed to, okay, so he just reminded me, he's supposed to take a shot. I have some liquor in there. I don't know if I want to be the person you blame.
If I get drunk?
If you get drunk.
Listen, one thing you need to learn about me, I don't get drunk very easily.
Okay. He is going to initiate the shot glass of Barbados. So this is going to be the first time. And we're going to get ready because for Icebreaker, he is going to play Never Have I Ever. Now, it's been a while since I played this game. Okay. So, but you have Barbados, set of boobs.
And I'm a titties man. So
he's a titties man. And
I'm an ass man. Let it be clear. I love both.
All right. The first one. Never have I ever got stuck in an elevator.
Oh, I definitely got stuck in an elevator.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay, so take a shot.
Definitely.
You gotta take a shot.
Salute. Oh yeah.
You could skip if you want to. Like
no,
maybe
no,
for
no.
number 2. All right.
No,
I just wanted to say, you know. I want to make sure you're good. Okay.
No.
Number 2.
I didn't drink for my birthday, so this is kind of like my.
Well, then happy birthday.
Happy belated. Thank you.
Happy belated birthday. All right. Number 2.
All right.
Never have I ever jumped a turnstile.
Oh hell yeah.
You have?
Oh, I got a funny story about that too.
I'm too short to jump a turnstile. I'm the one that crawls under. I can't.
You be crawling under there with the 4-year-olds, like get under there. I ain't paying for you.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right.
Take the shot.
Take the shot first.
And then you can tell me what the fuck you did when you jumped that turnstile.
All right. So I was in high school. For those that want to know where I went to Kennedy High School. Mm-hmm. And all right. So the way it happened was. At the time, I was on the football team. I was playing for the Kennedy Knights. And it was right after practice. We had a real early practice, I think, right after 3 o'clock. We only practiced for like an hour. Then coach let us off early. Bet. So me and my boys, like we normally do, we always get some chicken wings down the block, and then we go down to 31st Street and Broadway to go catch the 1 train. But we never paid.
Oh, no.
And back then, you know, we had bus passes and shit, but, you know, it's whatever. So it just so happens that we heard the train coming, and we were just like, yo, we got to catch this train because we wasn't going to wait for another one, right? So we run up the stairs. A couple of my guys hop the turnstile. They get in there, and the train's already in the station. It's already open. Door's already open. They jump in. They jump over. They run inside. I hop over, and I'm about to run in. And then as soon as I get my first foot in the door, I get yanked by 2 white guys.
Why?
2 white guys. And They weren't even in uniform. They were undercover. They were dressed in plaid, like, you know, like those construction, you know, plaid colors. One had like a red and white, and the other one had like a blue and black. Yep. And they had like a black or white T-shirt underneath with some like busted up ass Timbs and shit. And they yanked me and like one of my other boys off the train.
Fuck.
And, you know, they sat us down or whatever. They asked for IDs, and, you know, we had to give them IDs, and they wrote us a summons. And then they say, all right, you can go now.
How much was the summons? Do you remember?
At the time, I think it was like $50. It was like $50.
$50.
Right.
Okay.
But here's the thing. So I told my mom. Obviously, I had to tell her. So I handed over the summons, thinking she was going to take care of it. Right. Mm-hmm. Tell me how. I think it was probably a couple of years ago. I was applying for a job. And this was before I went full-time with my current job. So,
oh, my God.
I had to... They looked at my record, and when they ran my background check, they was like, oh, what's this summons here on your record? And they was like, this is from, like, 2000 and something. I can't remember what year it was.
What?
I remember it was in high school, because they was like, oh, you jumped the turnstile? And then they actually had a copy of the summons.
You lie.
Yo, they had a copy of the summons, and they actually showed it to me on the table. They put it on the table. And I was like, oh, shit. I remember that. And we both laughed. She was cool about it. She was
but it's crazy because they were able to pull that shit up.
Right. So she pulled it up in front of me, and she was like, so did you ever take care of it? And I was like, no. I thought my mother did because, you know, I wasn't working. She was.
Right.
My mother never paid the summons.
Holy fuck.
So that shit stayed on my record, but they told me it's okay.
Holy shit.
So that's what I wound up doing. I wound up
Harlem. All these years, you had a record.
Yeah.
For jumping a damn turnstile.
But I never went to jail though. I just got, I just got caught.
Okay.
Wrong place, wrong time.
So see, when Marcus got a ticket for playing with...
what?
He was playing with rocks like 2-3 years ago. We were at Rockland State Park. Okay, Rockland, no, FDR. Okay, we were there, and he was playing with rocks. Okay, and a rock, the parking lot is full of rocks. The fucking rock flew out of fucking car the glass. Right. Yeah. The lady comes over and she approaches Marcus. She didn't approach me. Talking about, oh, you threw the rock at my car. Now my kid is like little. Ma'am, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
So I could see through like the other side of my car that's what the fuck was happening. So I went over, I said, I'm sorry, what's going on? She's like, he threw the rock at my car. So I'm like, I'm sorry? So I'm like, Marcus, did you throw the rock at her car? Marcus is like, no. I said, all right. He said no. Then he didn't. So she goes, well, yeah, he did, because he's the one who's here playing with rocks, and a rock landed on my car. Look, it was a little scratch.
Yeah.
So I said, so you saw him throw the rock? She's like, well, I didn't see him, but I saw him playing with it. I said, well, if you didn't see him throw the rock, then he didn't fucking do it. Right? There's a bunch of fucking kids here. There's a bunch with me. There's a bunch over there. There's a bunch over there. You didn't see him throw it, so you're accusing him, right? The fucking lady goes, well, I'm going to call the cops. I said, all right, we'll be in the pool. You call the cops. We'll be here.
And this is where justice for Marcus got started.
When the fucking state trooper comes. He's looking at the lady like, ma'am, did you see him throw the rock? She's like, well, I didn't see him throw the rock, but, you know, he was playing with the rocks. And she was like fucking tripping over the fucking rock. She was such a bitch. Long story short, she went on this whole rampage. He's like, I'm not going to summons this kid, but I'm going to have to give you a ticket for failure to supervise a child.
You could do that?
I got a fucking ticket for failure to supervise a child because of her allegations. Okay? But he suggested that her and I change addresses. So if it cost her so much, I would pay for it. I said, yeah, I will give her my address, but I ain't paying for shit. Because she did not see my son throw the rock, right? So when we exchange addresses, the bitch wants to get scared because I live so close to her.
Oh, she thought you was going to come send some goons up her way?
I don't know who she is. I mean, I'm a professional. I was like, and so the fuck am I. Mm-hmm. I'm a professional too. I'm educated. I said, if I wanted to fuck you up, I will fuck you up right now. Right. I said, but nothing like that needs to happen. You don't need to make comments like that. Yo, she was like Like I was some piece of shit. Like I was some trash.
She's accusing your kid, but yeah, she's in fear of her life.
A year later, I fucking got the ticket fully dismissed. See, that wasn't even. I didn't even intend to get that story out of you.
Yeah, see, I had a little wild side too. I'm not always a goody two shoes.
All right, number 3. Never have I ever got suspended from school.
I never got suspended. See, I was a good boy. Mama raised me right. Shout out to my moms, man.
Shout out to mom. It was her birthday the other day. Number 4.
I know my baby.
Never have I ever gotten so drunk I passed out in a club or a bar.
Never.
Never?
That's why I say, yo, I'm trash.
All right, so see, that definitely happened to me.
I'm trash.
That definitely happened to me.
But I'm going to tell you why I never got that thrashed.
Why?
Because one of my best friend at the time, when we used to hang out like every Friday night or like basically every Friday night, like we all worked in the same circles. And there was a bar down the block from where I used to work called Tequilazo. And it was called Colombiana Tequilazo. It was down by like 46th Street between 56th Avenue.
Yep.
And I knew the people down there. So we used to always get hooked up. And whenever me and my homegirl used to go over there, right, she used to get fucking thrashed. I mean, every night. And the thing is that I never used to drink too much because I knew she was always going to get drunk.
Yeah.
So I was always like the chaperone.
Got it.
So I had to make sure she was okay.
Got it.
So that's why I never got fucked up. Yeah.
I got fucked up.
Yeah.
Like
I probably would have had to chaperone you.
Someone had to come get me in the bathroom. I was laid out.
Oh.
It was for my birthday. One of my birthdays. Between 25 and 30. I can't remember which one. I think it was 29.
God, I wish I knew you back then. You would have had so much fun.
I think it was 29. Damn. It was, what's the bar up atrás night? Bridges.
Oh, I heard about Bridges.
It was there.
Oh, Lord.
I think I was only there for like an hour.
Only an hour?
Yo,
you gotta
fucked up
in an hour.
When I tell you I got fucked up, it was either my 29th or my 31st.
Okay.
I cannot fully remember right now.
Yo.
I can only tell you right now. I remember my 33rd birthday and my 34th birthday, which were like my best birthdays ever.
And you remember those?
I do remember those.
Okay.
Well, I don't fully remember the 34th.
All right, so that was a good time.
That's the one where I got too drunk. I know I had sex. I just don't remember.
Oh, was that bad?
No, I was drunk. I was high and drunk.
Oh, but you had sex at the end.
Yeah.
So it capped off the night. So it was a good night.
Yeah, it was. I just don't fully remember.
Oh, you remember who?
No, I know who.
I'm sorry.
I just don't. I don't remember like seeing all the images in my head.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Yo.
Yeah. All right. Number 5. Never have I ever biked, rollerbladed, or skateboarded through the city.
Oh, I definitely biked.
You did that?
Yeah.
I never done none of those.
I've definitely done that.
No, I've never. I've always wanted to, but never did. Ever. Nope. Yo, Harlem's gonna get fucked up. You're not probably gonna get fucked up.
Nah.
No. It'll
probably take me 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
You got to do it at least one time. Mm-hmm. It's really cool because you see so many sights and.
I might actually want to do rollerblading.
Oh,
I was pretty good with rollerblading. I can't say I was really good doing that in the streets of New York, but I did it in my living room.
I think I might have only rollerbladed like one time.
All right.
But
I was a rollerblader.
I think I only had like one skate.
Not a fucking skateboard. Nope.
Never?
No. No, I won't even try. No.
Your brother didn't have a skateboard?
He did, not me.
You never tried to jump?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Oh, come on. No. You have a little Tony Hawk in you.
No. I'm pretty sure that would have been a disaster. I would have broken an arm or a leg.
Oh, man. Imagine if you had social media back then. Oh, man.
It would have been all over.
It would have been, yeah.
All the fuck over. Yeah.
We probably wouldn't be having this podcast right
now. No, we wouldn't. Number 6. Never have I ever karaoke to a James Brown song.
Oh, I definitely did that. Yo,
that's James a must.
Brown
that's a must.
Yo,
when you karaoke, you gotta karaoke to James Brown.
Fucking, this is a man's world.
Somebody has to.
Somebody has to.
Somebody has to.
Somebody has to.
Yes.
Like, oh God, I feel good.
That's the one I like.
And I'm feeling good right now.
You are?
With this Jamaican rum.
Yes. All right. Are we ready for the next one? Number 7. Never have I ever had an exotic meal. Do you know what I mean by that?
No, explain.
All right, so by an exotic meal, like exotic fruits or exotic vegetables, but most importantly, like the protein. So like not just your chicken or steak, we're talking like snake.
Snake?
We're talking like that type of exotic. Have you ever had
Hell
like
no.
that?
Nah, never had that. No.
Do you ever venture outside of chicken and steak?
Oh yeah, I have, but I can't remember.
And like seafood? Seafood is not exotic to me.
No, it's not.
I don't care how horny
like
those,
oysters,
some of those foods
not
make
even
you.
oysters.
No, that's not exotic. That's just horny food.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it does get you in the mood, especially the oysters.
Right. But I mean, like exotic, like something like you would never necessarily.
Nah, I don't think so.
No?
Nah. But I would definitely try it.
You would try it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm definitely open to it.
Okay, see, I like that open-minded.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
I'm not
open-minded.
close-minded like most of these niggas.
All right, okay.
They always want to just stick to fried chicken and steak and shit. And burgers and fries.
Okay,
That nigga's trash.
Shade. Number 8.
I'm with the shits.
I hear that.
Damn, this fucking rum is killing. It's kicking in.
Woo! He got water, guys. Don't worry.
Never
Have I ever been to a sip and paint.
Nah, I never done that.
Never?
Never. I mean, it just... And she got like a whole bunch of like Salma Hayek paintings up in here. I'm like, yo, what's that painting right there?
That's Frida.
That's free. I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Frida. That one I did on my best friend's birthday, Tina, like
Okay.
2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I got another one somewhere in the room.
That looks like Pac-Man and like Pac-Girl, like about to have a makeout session somewhere in the woods.
Oh, well, it's supposed to be ice.
Oh.
And that's water. And that's water in the middle.
I'm like, I didn't know
And
Pac-Man
those
was
are
white.
trees, and that's the reflection.
I didn't know Pac-Man was white.
You know what? Whatever. All right. My skills is good though. My skills is good.
You gotta see this picture.
I'm gonna put up a picture of it. You know what? Fly kite. All right. Number 9. Never have I ever been handcuffed.
Nah, I never been.
That is
handcuffed.
different from
Bruh.
arrested. I mean, never have I ever been handcuffed.
In a good way.
Yes.
No, I've never.
Never?
Never.
I hope if you ladies are listening to this, you guys are taking notes.
Listen.
So you know what to do to Harlem.
If you listen to that last
Dirty Talk
podcast, shout out to Angel. I told you, I'm with the shits. Ladies, what's up?
Take notes, please.
Please.
All right.
I want somebody to arrest me.
Never have I ever sucked toes.
I did.
You did?
On my 25th birthday, I did.
Oh, was that like your birthday gift? Like a set of
No,
toes?
it was funny because we were celebrating my birthday at El Morocco.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I've been there.
All right, yo, if you don't know about El Morocco's, it's a club on 145th and Broadway.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where I decided to do my birthday.
Oh, that should be lit.
Oh,
well,
my
it used
God.
to be
Was
lit.
it my 25th? Oh God.
It makes sense if it was, because I used to go clubbing out there too.
No, it wasn't my 25th. I did my 25th at the Boulevard.
Okay, so
I
what
did
year
El
was
Morocco, I think maybe the year before that.
Okay,
so I
okay,
think when I
okay.
was turning either 23 or 24.
Okay,
Anyway,
okay.
I know I definitely did it at El Morocco. So it was me, all my homies. I had a crush on one of my boys' sisters, one of his younger sisters, and she knew it. And she was looking really fucking good that night. And I was feeling good because I was drinking a lot.
Fucking Harlem.
And, she was pretty much like my date for the night. And, she was keeping me company. She was making me feel comfortable. And, like, I just started to just, like, massage her and shit. And then, like, next thing you know, like, she just, like, stretched out. And I saw her legs and she took her shoes off. And then the next thing I know, I'm, like, just massaging her feet. And she's, like, feeling the shit. And then, like, I got a little creative. We had an ice bucket, right? Because, I had a bottle, I had bottle service and all that.
Ooh.
So I took the ice and I started to, like, massage
You
her
a
feet
savage,
like
Harlem.
Yo, I remember like this shit was just yesterday.
I could
kid
see.
you not. Yo, it's a good thing I had this room because now that shit's bringing back memories. So I'm like massaging her feet with the ice, and then like I did like some shit. Like if you guys remember, there was a scene in Do the Right Thing when Spike Lee was caressing the ice over Rosie Perez. It was like, thank God for tits, thank God for legs, thank God for all that shit. I was doing that shit to her. And she was feeling that shit. And I was like, how you like it? She was like, oh, it feels good. And then the next thing, all right, fun fact, I sucked her toes in front of all my friends.
Oh, if any of Harlem's friends listen to this and you happen to have a picture or any footage, kindly
ain't no footage.
Post it on Instagram. Tag Harlem so I can see it.
Ain't no footage.
Or you can tag Double Dose of Ms. D or Double Dose of Raw Talk when you guys hear this so I can see evidence.
Nah, you ain't gonna find no footage. It's all photographic memory.
Yeah, okay. Somebody gotta have some shit.
No, trust me. If you ask my friends, they could tell you that whenever I tell a story, they know I'm telling the truth because I remember everything. Fun fact about me, guys, I pay very close attention to detail.
Okay.
So if I ever tell your story or some type of encounter we've had, I'll tell everything from what you looked like that day, how your hair was done, how your makeup was, what you was wearing. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. If I can see the panties through your fucking leggings, I'll tell you all that shit.
You gonna say it. He gonna tell it.
I'm like, yeah, you're definitely out of wedgie.
Oh, okay.
Nah, but yeah.
Okay, so he sucked toes, ladies.
I sucked toes, ladies.
Sucked toes. I hope y'all took notes.
Yeah.
All right, the last one. Never have I ever been bitten by a woman, and I don't mean them love bites. I mean bitten.
Like it was bad, or
like some of these women, they like to bite and leave a full blown mark.
Yeah, I've been bitten.
Like bite.
Like in a makeout session.
Like it might hurt you a little bit, and she gets a kick out of it.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay, so drink.
I like that shit.
Oh, he likes it.
God damn it. Shit, I told
him
with the shit.
I didn't mean no nibbly shit. That's not a bite.
No. Shit.
All right.
Oh, wow. I finished the bottle.
That was the goal. Hey. All right. Well, this was fun. Wow. All right. So now that we had the icebreaker, and it's so funny that you tell the story about the turnstile incident and how, this came up years later. Okay, we're going to go into the first segment.
Okay.
And just an FYI to my listeners, I kind of revamped the segments a little bit. Okay. We figure episode 30 and full bliss of the 30s.
I think you drunk.
I had one glass of wine. That was it.
All right.
Before you got here. Before you got. Listen, it was a long day at work. Okay. All right.
It is Friday.
It is Friday.
Happy
so
Friday.
Thank you. Happy Fridays. So we're gonna start with As Raw as It Gets. And everybody who's been listening, and if you're tuning in for the first time, As Raw as It Gets is the segment where we discuss anything about news, controversial shit, social media, sometimes sex and love, relationships or relationships. Nothing is ever off limits in this topic. So that would mean from the host to the guest or the guest to the host. Okay. So this segment, I'm going to give it the name of Only Fans or Only Fools. Okay. And the reason I want to dive into this with Harlem, it just so happens to be that this is something we've been discussing, right? Yep. We've been discussing it for quite some time. And let me make something very clear to you guys. I am totally for people using OnlyFans for whatever their reasons are, purpose are, means are, abso-fucking-lutely. But I do want to bring to the table a lot of different commentaries that I've heard other people say, that I've seen comments about. And I want to keep it a little bit raw because I do think there's a little bit of a double standard sometimes.
Okay.
But I also can understand certain points. I just have strong opinions about the other side of it.
Right.
And I have my own personal thoughts on it. So I want to bring that discussion to the table.
Right.
We're in an era right now where social media, it's like once you post it, you post it.
It's there for life.
It's there for life, right? Yeah. And shit, even these episodes are there for life, right? So even for me, like when I share a story, when I share something about my life, when I share anything, I know that I'm sharing it. It's something that's going to be in existence for the rest of my life.
Yes.
So I will never share something that I don't feel comfortable being in existence out there forever and for everyone to hear. That doesn't mean I hide anything. That just usually means there's a reason if I haven't yet put it out there, right? So with that being said, when we think about the era that we're in with social media, everything just being all up in the net, in the internet, or in the iCloud, right? Let's call it that.
Yeah.
Whether it's Instagram or any other social media outlets, and we think of OnlyFans, we know that OnlyFans is there. Unless the entire site completely shuts down, anybody could go in there and just find someone, right? And so recently on the news, I had seen that a teacher got fired because she had an OnlyFans. I believe she was a teacher. Yes. I had seen that a teacher got fired. there was pictures of her that they found, and she was in lingerie. She was very beautiful, very beautiful. I believe she was a teacher. I may have to like go back, but I'm pretty sure she was a teacher. I can't remember if she was like middle school or high school, but she looked pretty good, and I believe she was fired for having an OnlyFans. And when we think about that, right, and we think about things living in the internet,
right?
For example, the article we had both seen, you sent it to me, about how OnlyFans subscriptions and all that good stuff increased the moment the pandemic hit.
Right.
A lot of people stayed without jobs.
Yep.
And so they had to figure out their means by which to make money. Now, let me be very clear on something else. I have said it for many years that if I had the body that I've wanted and I'm still on the road to, if I had to, I will sell my ass. I will absolutely fucking do that. And I will make money off of it.
Facts.
Okay? So I see nothing wrong in the concept of, you know, you feel sexy, you want to show your body being sexy, and this goes to men and women, right? They want to create their OnlyFans, they want to make money off of it, they want to monetize, right? If whatever it is that goes in conjunction with their, you know, liberated selves on OnlyFans. There are other purposes to OnlyFans. There are people who actually get really, really creative with OnlyFans.
Yes.
There are OnlyFans pages geared towards certain fetishes too.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily just ass, tits, pussy, and dick, right? There's other things too. What I want to discuss is the fact that I have come across some people, majority are men, okay? And some men have had the commentary to say, some of them are friends, shout out to you guys know who you are, that they would fuck with a woman who has an OnlyFans, but they won't take her seriously. So, like, they would fuck her, they would have sex with her.
But they won't ever wife her.
All right. And in a conversation that I had with one of them, I had said my sentiments to why I wouldn't start it. And I will say them here, to why I wouldn't start an OnlyFans. But the other sentiments that have been shared with me, the other thoughts that were shared with me were that I said, well, what if you had a girlfriend and she later wants to start an OnlyFans? You know, certain commentaries from several has been, well, then I can't be with her no more. Then it's over. Because, you know, it goes against their values or it goes against their principles and so on. I further dived into that question, right? And I further asked, well, what if, I said, well, would you have a OnlyFans subscription? Would you go and subscribe to other people's pages? And a lot of those men actually said yes, they would.
They would still subscribe.
They would still subscribe to other pages. They would still, not everyone said that, but a lot of them did. And so I actually put up a poll, okay? I asked a question. Nobody knew that you were the person who's coming on, so they'll know now that you're the person who's coming on the show. And I put up a poll of, like, if anybody had any questions for this man who's coming on the show to discuss OnlyFans.
Okay.
Right? And so the questions, there were 4 of them in specific. The first one was, would you create an OnlyFans? Okay. Second one, would you be with a woman who already has one? Or if she doesn't, what if she tells you she's going to make one? Right? Which we just mentioned. The third one is, do you think there's a double standard with OnlyFans? So your traditional, your usual, if a woman does it, she a hoe. If a man does it, oh, let me see what he's doing. And number 4 is, what do you think about people who say they wouldn't at all take someone serious who has an OnlyFans? Okay. So I want to open up this discussion because you have strong sentiments about it. Yeah. Okay. So hit me with it. Where are you with this when it comes to, what are your personal feelings about it? You being a man and your preference and interest being women. If that was your case, meaning someone who already has an OnlyFans or being with someone who would later want to open an OnlyFans.
Okay. So you got to understand, like, we're in a different era now where everything is social media based. So people use social media nowadays to capitalize off of that, you know, because that's just the world we're in right now, right? So if people want to use OnlyFans as a way to, you know, be more intimate with their fans and to make money off of that, by any means, whatever it is, I'm all for it. Because look, I'm just a hustler at the end of the day. So, you know, I know some people look down on that and they see that, you know, like, oh, like you're being a hoe or, you know, or you trying to be a wannabe porn star. Fuck all that. Listen, at the end of the day, you can't tell somebody how not to get a bag, okay? Mm-hmm. And listen, we're in a trying time right now. Mm-hmm. You know, people are losing jobs. People are filing for unemployment. Every single week. I think they just said like this week, like over fucking like 800,000 people just filed for unemployment, and they can't find work anywhere.
Right.
And there are people who are turning to OnlyFans as a way to make money,
right,
and to keep a roof over their head and to provide for their families and their children and whoever. It's nothing wrong with that,
right?
Because you got to understand something. OnlyFans, I get it. Like, people think of OnlyFans, they think, oh, it's adult entertainment, it's pornography, it's whatever. No, it's not just that. Like, people are doing OnlyFans for different reasons. People are doing it for adult entertainment, such as pornographic, content. Some are even doing it for, tutorial reasons. Like, if somebody doesn't know how to cook, so they teach you how to cook. If there's people who want to learn how to do certain things, like, how to get their body right for the summer, they teach you, things like that. Or whatever the case is, like, OnlyFans is for different reasons. Like, but people are so quick to like put a stigma around it and scrutinize people who will do OnlyFans because they so quick to think that you're doing OnlyFans, you're selling sex,
right?
No,
you're selling your ass.
You're selling your ass.
Right.
No, it's not that. It's not that at all. OnlyFans is just basically if you're a fan of a certain thing, and someone who puts out that certain type of content and they're producing it on a consistent basis, you're going to invest into that person who's giving you that type of content, and you're willing to pay that subscription, whatever it is, whether if it's $12.99 or $20 or whatever, because you see it as an investment.
Right.
Now, there's some people who do, go into the OnlyFans where, they like a certain public figure who they follow on Instagram and they show off their ass and tits, and that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So I don't understand why people are so, especially men, are so bent out of shape over, a woman who decides to fucking show off some tits and ass, or maybe go a little extra on OnlyFans. Like, I think it's okay.
Right.
I think it's okay. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Right. So for one, I agree with you, and I want to make something very clear also. The only reason why I wouldn't do it is because I have a teenage boy who is apparently Googling porn, like most teenage kids do, right?
Like all kids. Yeah.
So I know he has stumbled over already the OnlyFans website, and the last thing I need is my son noticing that his mama is on OnlyFans.
Like, Mom, right? I need $20.
I'm gonna be very honest, right?
If he starts asking for an allowance,
right? Like, then I know he found my page.
Yeah, he found your page. Like, yo,
right. I can't have that. That's really the only reason why. Fuck everybody else. I really don't give a fuck about my parents, like, my family, nothing. Like, it's my kid. Like, that's the only reason why I wouldn't. And then I thought, like, okay, maybe I could do like a no face, no case, right? But what I said about my hands, I got very telling hands, just like I have telling eyes. And my mom's hands, I got my mom's hands. People know my mom's hands. Yeah. So, like, I would need to constantly wear gloves. You know what I mean?
And that's fine, too.
It is. But then it's like, how many different gloves do I need?
Girl, you could mix it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got your pair for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even once for the holidays.
Right. So I think like, everybody has their reasons, right? And, I completely understand when you sent me that article and we saw how much OnlyFans had increased in a time of the pandemic and coronavirus and people losing jobs and not being able to find jobs and people for needing to make different arrangements for their lives, right? Too. That's another piece that's still going on. That they would turn to I'm going to call it an opportunity where they're going to find a way to make money. I don't see it as a problem at all. I'm going to be 100% honest. As a woman, I don't think I would mind it if I was to meet a man who was on OnlyFans, or if I was to meet a man who later would want to create an OnlyFans. But I'm going to be very, very honest. I don't know how I feel about my man's dick all over the internet. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
No,
I'm gonna be
I
honest.
feel you.
Like, I'm gonna have to, like, I would have to constantly tell myself it's just the internet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just the internet,
it's just
because
for entertainment.
Right. At the end of the day, I am a Scorpio. I'm very territorial.
Yes.
I'm slightly possessive, and that's just you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me. So I want to be fair on that too, because the same way women could create it, men could create it too. But I do feel like there is a little bit of a double standard, because I don't think that men get as much scrutiny who would go and sell sex, quote unquote, like women do. I think women are still looked at as, oh, like, you hoeing like on 149th and Hunts Point, or you hoeing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, they still look at it as, oh, it's prostitution because you're selling your ass. Here's the thing: you can't fuck through a fucking live, you know, video, or you can't fuck during a post. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. Like, prostitution is prostitution, right? Then there is outlets like OnlyFans. Then there is different things like that, where there is for part of engagement or entertainment or what have you. But I do think it's pretty fucked up. Like, it bothered me when I saw that, and I swear she's a teacher. And I'm gonna have to find that article. I thought I had it with me. For her to get fired, like, okay, she's a teacher. Yes.
Right.
I don't think it makes her any less of a teacher. I don't think it makes her any less able to provide the service that a teacher can give to kids in teaching them, right? Because she has an OnlyFans. If we're going to stick the principles to it, I don't think any woman should be scrutinized if they need a side hustle, or if they need something to make more money, and if they turn to OnlyFans.
Right.
And I've just seen too much scrutiny on it. I've seen too much judgment. I've seen a little bit of bashing too. One of the things I've encountered in other conversations with male friends, you know, it's the fact that men just blatantly admit that they like to see tits and ass, but they won't wife a woman up who's showing off the tits and ass. And for me, it's like, that just goes to show, like, and this is not to trash men. That's not what it is. It's about conversation.
Right.
That just goes to show just too many times how often men are okay with all of what they think is inappropriate or risque or sexy, except if it's my wife. If it's my wife, you have to dress completely different. You can't show your ass. You can't do this. You can't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's also another issue we have in society with men. I don't know how you would feel, but like, if you were to get married, like, do you expect your wife to dress completely different from what most women would? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your take with that? Because I think that's a true reflection on what the OnlyFans discussion is.
I mean, with that, it's you know, I mean, okay, if I met her and she was a certain way, and like, if she dressed a certain way, I'm not gonna tell her, okay, babe, like, we're official, we're in a relationship. Right. I'm not gonna tell her, okay, you need to dress accordingly. Like, you're not supposed to be dressing like this, like showing cleavage and ass, like, you know, because now we're a couple. Like, no. If you, whatever makes you feel comfortable, whatever makes you feel sexy, I'm all for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm very supportive in that regard. So I'm not all about trying to censor my woman because, you know what I'm saying, like, she's confident in her sexuality. I'm like, yo, show that shit.
Right.
Show that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm just different. You know what I'm saying? I know some guys are insecure, you know, because when they see their girl out in the street and they're showing, you know, their curves, or they're showing their ass, they're showing whatever, you know, they're like wondering if, you know, oh, like, this guy on, you know, is going to be trying to talk to her, or they're going to get hit on all the time. Like, I get that. Yeah. But that to me just shows like insecurity in the man. Right. I mean, like, yo, don't you want your girl to feel good? Don't you want your girl to feel sexy? Like, come on, man. Like, whatever makes her feel confident. Like, you gotta understand, like, yo, if your girl walks out and she feels confident, like, just by herself, without you even being there, and, you know, she's free to dress however she wants to dress, and like, she goes out and she's getting all of that attention or whatever, like, yo, I'm just me. This is just me. Like, I like that shit because, you know why? Because she feeds off of that, and then you know what happens? Like, she gets more confident in herself, and then you know what happens? She takes that back home to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, like she already knows like her man's gonna give her all the praise in the world, but like the fact that like, you know what I'm saying, like you give her that confidence, like yo, she could be herself out in the world without you being there, and like yo, even if she is getting likes or even if she is getting stares or people trying to holler whatever, and she's not listening to that shit,
right?
But the fact that she knows, like, you know what I'm saying, like she's just confident in herself, like that's sexy to me.
It is
that's sexy to me. And I think as a man, like yo, you should embrace that shit,
right?
Like yo, get out of this fucking insecurity, like, you know what I'm saying, like yo, you're not gonna be around your girl all the time,
right?
Your girl's gonna always get hollered at. Your girl's always gonna get likes, and she's gonna always like have guys trying, like, telling how beautiful she is.
Right.
But you know that already. You got her. You won.
Right.
But as long as you know that your girl is not gonna like feed into that, like, oh, all right, bye, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, and she's bringing that shit back home to you, and you reap the benefits of that, dude, I'm all for that shit.
Right. And I think that's also like part of how we look at it, right?
Yeah.
This is her business. So
it's a business.
She's running a business.
She's running a business.
This is what she's doing. And I'm advocating here for that because I don't like the judgments. No. I don't. It bothers me.
But it's gonna happen.
Right.
It's gonna happen because as women, we hold women to a higher regard than men. Right. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, we expect you to be holier than thou. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said the word holier because that's exactly the route I was just going to go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we hold women to a very, very high standard.
But, sir, nobody said that I'm going to be a nun.
I'm not expecting you to be a nun.
I know that. I'm just saying, sir, to the motherfuckers who think that that's what the fuck a woman is supposed to fucking do. Listen,
when you get with a girl, don't expect you should not expect your girl to change totally about who she is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right.
So here's my thing. I had a conversation with someone, and this is where I could fuck with the mentality. I could fuck with the mentality of a man saying, you know, that's just not for me, if in fact they won't subscribe to OnlyFans. If in fact that is just against everything that they believe in, right? And so I see that to be a man, someone who is entitled to their opinion, right? So if they just don't like that vibe, that's not what they fuck with. That's not what they will accept, right? If they happen to meet a woman who does that, they're going to have to put a stop to it. Yeah. Or if they get with someone and later wants to start it, they're going to have to end it. I can understand that when it's someone who just all around just doesn't fuck with it. Right. It's fine. Yes, we want women to be respected by everyone, especially men. Absolutely. Yeah. I just don't think that a woman who is monetizing and making a business out of on OnlyFans should at all be devalued or disrespected. Right. And that's where I have a problem with so much of the discussion and debate with OnlyFans. I know there's women. I know of women who don't fuck with the idea of my man's dick being all over the internet. I know women like that. I absolutely do. But then they're also the type of women who won't sit there and watch fucking porn. They are. And listen, this is the thing though, but this is the thing. I respect it. If that's how you are and that's how your relationship functions, cool. Because I would equally have a problem with women who are here subscribed to shit, watching dicks flying all over the place, but God forbid it's your husband doing it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But that's why I wanted to shine light on this. I wanted to bring up something that has been in existence for quite some time. Okay. And I realized that the scrutiny and the double standard comes from all the way back there. And maybe it has to do with different cultures, right? For anybody who's heard my shows, y'all know how I feel about Spanish men. I love my Spanish men, okay? I do. They're not my preference in dating or relationships, but I've dealt with a lot of machos, right? Yes. Con el machismo, right? That's what I've dealt with a lot of. Yeah. And I see it in a lot of our cultures still in existence. I say that to say I'm not going to give specific names. I'm not even going to give a specific year. And I'm not going to give a specific wedding. But there was a point in my family's life years ago when people were getting married. Like, people in my family, back to backs. I was a bridesmaid to some of those weddings. Okay. A little bridesmaid. I was a little teenager. Okay. So we're going way the fuck back. I'm going to be 35. Okay. Okay. And I remember I wanted to be present for the bachelorette party. Okay. And I was a teenager, and I said, I want to be present. And my mom, for those who don't know, La Chato was like, no, Daisy's too young. Little did my mama know I was already having sex. But
Yeah, when did your mom know when you started having sex?
I think I told her like 2 years ago or 3 years.
Just 2 years ago?
No, I'll tell you the story of how that shit happened.
Right,
but,
right.
you know, little did she know, right? But she didn't want me to be there in the Bachelorette. So I said, listen, I will hold the camera so I could record it, because we always wanted to record everything. Right? So I was the one in charge of the camera. So the stripper doesn't get close to me, because we used to order strippers to do the bachelorette parties for the women that were getting married, right? So the stripper doesn't get close to me. I would stand on a chair because I'm short, so I could capture the entire view.
Yeah.
I think this bachelorette was in my house, in my apartment, because we did one in grandma's house.
Okay.
Shout out and rest in peace to my Amiguita, but we did one in grandma's house. All right, we did it in grandma's house, one of them. But this one, I think, was in my mom's house. So I'm standing on the chair. I'm recording. So the stripper already knew, don't get near her because she's too young. She's the one that's going to be recording, right?
Right, yeah.
All right. But I saw everything, right? Everybody had such a good time. All the women in my family, I've never seen them so out of their elements.
Yeah.
You know, and these women were talking about, you know, checking the oil and all this other little thing. Yeah, they was out. I saw a whole side of these women that I had never seen before, women in my family. Okay? The bachelorette party ends. And we tell the men to come back to the house, right? So they could pick up their wives.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say again who's the wife. I'm not going to say which aunt it was, okay? I'm not going to do it. Somebody has a genius idea. Let's sit down to watch the video. I can't remember who said it, all right? So we sit down. Can't remember who decided to do this, but they play the fucking video.
Okay.
They play the fucking video. Now, mind you, I can assure you these men have been to strip clubs. I can assure you these men have seen naked women. I can assure you they threw dollars at naked women. Okay? No lie. 10 minutes into the fucking video, they was arguing. They was fighting. The men got up. They was leaving. They was leaving the wives. They wasn't taking them home. Everybody was pissed. And guess who was the only one who wasn't pissed? Who was sitting down, just laughing, watching the video, and looking at my mother. My father.
Your father.
My father was the only one. My father was the only one that didn't fucking trip. He was the only one that was just sitting there like cracking the fuck up.
Yeah, because he knows.
Yo, and this is why I tell you, like, my dad is who like taught me certain things to be so liberal on. Like, it is what it is. That's part of life. You're gonna learn about that. Yeah. Yo, like he was the one that was very like brutally honest about life with us.
Yeah.
Including sex, including just like when you grow up, this is what the fuck you're gonna encounter, and that's it. Like my father, like, is like that. That's the one piece of him that emotions haven't always been attached, but he's always been very real with us.
Right.
And I say that to say because I feel like even then, I saw the double standard because I knew for a fact that as a teenage girl, I knew that these men have seen naked women, but it was a problem the moment they saw their women in a different element. With a stripper. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This stripper was getting paid. He was performing. He was entertainment. He wasn't fucking nobody. He didn't fuck anybody. I can assure you that. I was there. I was a fucking teenager. I didn't see him fuck nobody.
Right.
But I saw the double standard since then. And so here we are. I'm 34. We're in the time where social media is so huge. And OnlyFans is in existence. And OnlyFans is real. And I'm seeing once again this double standard and the scrutiny where men are like, nah, I can't wife a woman who has an OnlyFans, or I can't wife someone who goes and decides to get an OnlyFans. Here's my message to those men, okay? If you happen to meet a woman who has an OnlyFans, before you judge, before you make your judgments, before you scrutinize her, before you mark her with the scarlet letter, just be intrigued a little bit and ask, why did she chose this type of profession, this type of business for herself? Because if in fact she is someone who has a full-blown business as sex workers, or sex worker industry is real and it is nothing to be ashamed of. And if it just so happens to be that in the middle of a fucking pandemic, then ask yourself, what situation is this woman in that she needs to turn to OnlyFans instead of being able to keep a job? Because guess what? A lot of people are losing their fucking jobs.
That's a fact.
That's the bottom line. I have just reached the point to be just so annoyed with a lot of the scrutiny, and I'm seeing so much of it. And it's pretty, honestly, it's pretty fucking disgusting at this point. Honestly, you know, it's like only a celebrity you know, a badass celebrity is supposed to have an OnlyFans. No, people, other creatives can do it too.
Yeah.
And they could bring out their images the way they choose to.
Exactly. Fucking public figures do that shit all the time on Instagram.
All
like
the time.
The ones that like model chicks, like they're just known for just like showing a couple, you know, rum chick, you know, twerking videos or whatever. Like they doing this shit too.
Right.
And they have like fucking like 50 to 100,000 fucking fans. Like, and since the pandemic, like they're fucking doing OnlyFans now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they have
like,
to, because how many of their gigs were shut down?
Yeah,
the
like
club promotion,
appearances, all that shit that they would normally get a couple of stacks for, like all shut down.
Right.
And now they're stuck. Like, okay, how can I get a bag? Like,
right.
Oh, ding.
Right.
OnlyFans. Like,
might as well.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with that shit?
Right.
What the fuck is wrong with that shit? Like,
listen. I will say this though, I still take my pictures, but for myself. Y'all already know how I feel about that shit. And for
shout out to the girls with the nudes, man.
And shout out to us. And you know, my next partner already has 896 pictures.
Oh man.
Yes, I did recycle them.
Bruh.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care. If he wants to, if he chooses that I should delete them, then I will delete them, and he could be my photographer. We could take a whole new set of pictures.
For real.
We could just take a whole new set of pictures, right?
Just take like a whole day, like, yo, babe, what's up? Like, I got a whole fucking layout, like,
yo, shut up.
Just like,
shut up.
Oh man.
Oh, thank God outside is opening, so I can get out there and get my shit rocked. Okay.
Stop it, please. Stop it. I'm still in the celibacy. No,
okay, first of all, the only reason why I'm beefing with this pandemic is because it forced me into celibacy.
It forced a lot of people into celibacy, actually.
I've been celibate before. It was actually when I was breaking up with my ex-husband and everything I had gone through. For those who have already listened to my previous episode, there's a lot I went through in that entire marriage and breakup.
Yeah.
And part of that was definitely, I did not want to deal with no one. No, not a single man. I wanted to just be by myself. I didn't want a single man touching me. So I did go through celibacy then already. There's been times where I've gone through phases where I just don't fuck. I just tag team myself, right? and I handle me before. Yeah. And it was almost 2 years of a celibacy that I was in back
How
then.
did you feel?
Coming out of that celibacy?
Yeah.
The person that I came out of that celibacy with, it was pretty comfortable. Okay. And I kept fucking with that person for almost, I don't know, of 10, 11 years. Like fucking around with that person and like eventually dated. But it was comfortable. Okay. And I think that's what it is for me. Like from what my preference is, like I wanted to be comfortable. And so with this situation recently, like I know how long it's been for me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, with the pandemic and all that stuff, like there was just no way to just go and be a little hoe, right? There was just no fucking way. If we're going to keep it real, right? So even that transition is like you going from just dealing with one person for almost 2 years, right? And then you like gonna vibe with somebody else.
Somebody totally new.
Yeah. So it's like what I need for that, like I already know, and I've already established like what my needs are. If I'm going to start something up like that, it has to definitely be a certain comfort level.
Right.
Okay. Segment number 2. Now that we shined a little light in our opinion on OnlyFans.
Yep.
Segment number 2. I usually just have 2, but today is a revamp, and we're gonna have a third segment. Hey. But segment number 2 is still double or nothing, and this is the segment where we keep it raw on another dose, right? And this is where we're just gonna have a quick little talk where we're gonna, you know, dive a little deep and just be all the way raw with our opinions. And this is gonna be called Sheets Talk. I think it's important to put the voice out there of a man to say this to some of my ladies, since the OnlyFans segment was mostly for my men. And I am a firm believer that it is important for anybody to be extremely honest and very transparent with a partner when it comes to sex. Yeah. I hold sex on a very high regard. I am a firm believer that if you are not able to be fully naked, and there are people who are not able to be fully naked with their lifetime partner, okay? If you can't be that comfortable with your partner, then there's a problem. I'm a firm believer of that, okay? Here's the thing. I wasn't always consistently honest. I wasn't always very transparent. I wanted to know your thoughts as a man when it comes to sex truth.
Okay.
Do you expect the transparency and an honesty when it comes to someone who you are just casually hooking up with? Meaning, does that woman have a right to be honest with you about your performance, about her preferences and her needs and her likes, if she's just a casual hookup? Or is that something that you give as a privilege to someone you are actually dating and in a relationship with?
I don't think it matters. Okay. I think that as long as, if you're with someone, it doesn't matter what the standards are or what you lay down. Like, I think you should always be truthful and honest about, sex and the whole thing. Like, if there's something you like or something you don't like, or, if you've already had experiences with that person and, you've, been around with them a few times and you say, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. Like, I think you should be open and honest about that.
Right.
I don't think you should ever, hold that to yourself.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's unhealthy.
Okay. I like that.
I'm saying? Like, I think that, whether if it's a friends with benefits, casual dating, or a real relationship, I feel like open honesty when it comes to sex is mandatory. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I don't care. Sex, like, whoever you're having sex with, like, you trust that person to a certain degree.
Right.
I think that you should be able to, like, have an open and honest conversation about what you like and what you don't like.
Right.
Like, come on. Like,
I learned that.
What the hell?
I know you're right.
Like, we talked about this.
We
like,
have,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
There's a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, who do not have the sex talk.
They don't. To this day,
they do not have the sex talk.
Yeah.
What is wrong with having the sex talk? It's with your partner.
Let me just add to that. Okay. Missionary is a position, and yes, it's beautiful to still have that with a partner. Absolutely. But as long as you are mobile and you can move, you should definitely be trying other positions too. Yes. Okay. I know people. I do. And I'm not saying, listen, you want to make love? You can make love. You can make love with a woman sitting on top. You can. There's a way to make love and still see eye to eye. Okay? There is. There's so much that is still lacking in relationships and with couples. And listen, I'm not going to say sex is everything. I know of people who have been in relationships with someone who the sex was not, like, excellent. I've been one of those. I was once with someone for a while. He was like a 7 or an 8.
You gave him like the Dancing with the Stars, like, 4, 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 7 or an 8. I am. And I'm not talking about his size. I mean performance. Okay? There was certain things about him. Like he was a little bit lazy. Listen, but that's the point, though. The point is, it still exists. It still happens. There's still people that won't face that. Damn, like, you can't keep a woman.
Yeah.
Maybe you should reevaluate yourself in more ways than one. Because let me be very frank with that particular man. There was a lot more other issues than just that, right? But I still gave him chances, and I still stood by, and I still gave it a whole try. And it was a few years I was a lot of trial and error. There was a few years I was with him.
Yeah.
So I am definitely one of those women who has done that, who wasn't necessarily honest about what her preference was, what her needs was.
Okay.
The way I handled that situation was one day I just stopped fucking him. It was just like, no.
You just cut him off cold turkey?
I have no interest whatsoever fucking you. I kept him around as a friend.
Damn.
But I had no interest in sleeping with him anymore because he just became boring to me. I wasn't honest with him about that. Right? It was after the fact that I learned to be a little bit more honest. Yeah. Okay? And I started communicating more about, like, what my preferences were, what my needs were, what I like, what I don't like. Until I stumbled over one guy. And shit, I can't remember how long ago this was. I also don't know if he's listening to this episode, and I hope he can't figure out it's him.
Yeah, he needs to learn a thing or two.
Here's the problem, though. There's not much for him to learn.
Oh.
Okay.
So he already got the...
No, the problem was his was the size.
Oh, it was too much?
It was too small.
Oh.
like small.
Where's my measuring tape at?
No, there's no
Hold
need
up.
to measure. And so here was my problem with this man. My problem with this man was he was focusing in conversation too much on relationships and feelings and love and this, that, and the third. And I'm over here like, all right, we could just go on date 1, 2, and 3, right? Like you're having a lot of deep conversation that is way too early in my book for us to be having. And so I instantly thought to myself, something is up. Because it was just too fast, too soon.
Oh, he was having those deep conversations like way too soon.
Way too soon. So I ghosted him.
Wait, hold up. You mean because of his?
Because his eyes.
Like like, you gotta. Wait.
It was small.
But I mean, like, did he even like?
There was nothing for him to whip out. It wasn't long enough for him to whip it out. So it was small. It was so small.
Wait, so you basically saying that you looked at his size and you basically said, oh, nah, you gotta go.
Yeah, like that was it.
So you basically, without even...
No explanations, no nothing. I blocked him off of everything. I didn't talk to him on any basis whatsoever. When I tell you I blocked him, I blocked him. I think there was a point where he would call me from his job phone. When I realized it was him, I blocked that number too. I did not wish to speak to him at all. Since then, I need to see a dick pic.
Oh, so this is like the pre-screening thing now?
Yes, but what I did realize at that point in time is if you have so much mouth about giving me the world and doing all this stuff so soon, I'm going to question your size.
Yeah, I'm not with all that shit, man.
I'm going to question your size.
I'm actually surprised guys still do that.
Right.
Like, they big their shit up so much, and then, like I had friends, like, they told me, like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I told this girl, like, everything. Like, yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then, like, you know, they'll come back to me. I'm like, yo, so what happened? She's like, yo, she said I was trash. I don't know why. And I'm like, the fuck you mean? And then when they explain to me why, I'm just like, oh. I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, I can.
But you see, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, but don't we still want that honesty though?
Yeah,
like, don't we still want that? Because I regret having ghosted that gentleman. I regret not. Yeah, I regret not saying. I definitely hurt his feelings.
Basically, you know.
I hurt his fucking feelings. And don't get me wrong though.
You ruined his life.
I have gone like years without talking to someone who I was fucking with. I've gone years. I mean, it's happened. Like, no hard feelings, you know. I've reconnected with them. I've linked up with them again later. Just things have happened. But with him in particular, like, I definitely hurt his feelings. I definitely completely ghosted him. Definitely did not want to speak to him, see him, have anything to do with him. It wasn't so much at that point. Definitely the size had a lot to do with it. But at that point, it had more to do with you was bigging yourself up this whole fucking time.
Okay, yeah.
This whole fucking time on every other aspect. Like, if you go around in life promising a woman the world in week 2 of dating her, that's a fucking problem.
That's why I say, like, guys should just stop doing that.
Just stop.
Just don't do that.
Stop. Just don't do that.
Because every girl is different. Like, you can't keep thinking, like, okay, like, you've had an amazing sex life with different girls and different partners, that every girl's the same.
Right.
Every girl's not the same, guys.
And that's what I'm saying. So I've had some men who have not been so big and they've performed pretty well. They've made up for it in other ways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've encountered that. I have. So that was my problem with this particular guy. That was when I was like, okay, I need to go back to being my very honest self and be very upfront of what my needs are and what my requirements are when it comes to sex, even if it is just someone who's casual.
Yep.
Even if we are dating, we are seeing each other.
Especially that.
Right. Like, if we're in a relationship, like, we're going to have a very transparent conversation on this. Right. I don't care if we are just friends with benefits. I don't care if we're just casually fucking. I'm going to tell you what my preference is.
Facts.
Because if I don't do it, then I'm going to find myself.
How is he going to know?
Right. And I'm going to find myself in a situation again where I'm going to hurt somebody.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like, I think we probably touched on this before, but I think I probably told you this, right? Like,
which one?
There was a friend of mine and he was telling me about this girl that he just started dating, and, you know, he was just telling me, like, all this shit, like, all right, like, he's not really experienced sexually.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, you know, he didn't want to lie to the girl because he really liked her.
Okay.
And he came to me with this, and he was like, yo, like, there's so many things that I haven't done sexually, you know, I haven't experienced it, but I don't know how to tell her this without her, like, getting, like, oh, really? So, like, I don't want her to get the wrong impression. Like, all right, like, I'm inexperienced, even though I am.
Right.
But I don't want her to go, like, ghosting me and go to somebody else who is going to give her what she wants. Like, I want to be open and honest about it, but I'm willing to learn.
Right.
So he asked me, what should I do? And I said, dude, like, just be honest about it.
Yeah.
Just say, like, because, all right, he was basically telling me that, okay, he never ate pussy before.
Okay.
And he's open to the idea. He wants to do it.
Okay.
And he was like, yo, but this girl, I really like her and I want to do it with her and she'll be the first one to ever, like, to try it on.
Right.
But if I tell her that I've never ate pussy, even though, like, we're in an environment where girls, like, they expect you to know the anatomy of the whole thing, like, if I go to her and tell her I never ate pussy before, she might get turned off and then, like, you know, that might affect our relationship. What should I do? I'm like, dude, you're thinking about it, you're overthinking it.
Right.
I said, it's better to be open and honest about, you know, your sexual experiences than to say that, oh, yeah, I'll eat your pussy, I'll do all this, you know, whatever. And then when it's time to get in there, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, you're like, where's Waldo? Like, where the fuck, all right, where's the, you know what I mean? So I told him, I said, listen, it's better to be open and honest with her and tell her, like, look, yo, I've never eaten pussy before, but I want to eat your shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So what should, like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
So at that point, right, I think I would approach it in that way too. Yeah. But see, if I was to encounter a man who has never eaten pussy and he's telling me he wants to eat mine, like, at that point, I think there might be a like, and listen, don't get me wrong, to my bitches, to my women, to my ladies, like, I get it. We just want a man who's experienced, who's gonna know what the fuck to do. But sometimes it can be a little bit fun when a woman feels a little dominant and she becomes the teacher.
Right.
Sometimes it can be a little bit fun for some women, right? And you can teach this man how you like it.
Right. Keyword, how you like
it. Right, me.
Because
right,
every girl's different.
Every girl's different. So you can teach him that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, when you're having these very raw, transparent conversations, these very sex truth talk, like, it's like, if you were to be more transparent, you don't know how a person will react. The worst thing you could do is the lies, or the worst thing you could do is, like, the downplay of it, or pretending shit. Like, me personally, I don't fuck with that. I don't. And that's the part where I regret that I was not honest with this man, because I should have been honest with him of what really threw me off with him. Yeah. Again, I dealt with a man who was not much larger than him. Right? Okay, he was a little bit larger than him, but not to the extent of certain sizes that I've had. But that man knew what he had. That man knew. He saw it in my telling eyes that he was not to my liking of what I'm used to. So he made up for it in other ways. And it was like, oh, okay, you did your thing with me. Okay. Success. Yes. My ass still came. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So there's still ways, but that doesn't happen unless you have that conversation.
Exactly.
And that's why I wanted to throw that in there with the sheets talk and just keep it very raw on that end, because to your point and to what we've been saying, a lot of people still don't know how to have that conversation. Right. We're 35. Well, I'm going to be 35 in 2 months. You're 35. Like, we're not getting any younger. So a lot of shit should not be off limits to discuss. Yeah. And I know a lot of my listeners are in our mid 30s, right? Early 30s. And so take this as information of what we've learned, what we've experienced. Like, it is the best practice, honestly. Like, and especially if you give a fuck about a person. Like, if you give a fuck about a person, please take the time to communicate. Oh, hell yeah. Like, that goes a long way. And that's respectful. Yeah. Like, I could respect a man who could really communicate with me when it comes to sex.
Like, it's true. And I think going back to my previous relationship, I think I failed in that regard with not being open and honest about what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. Right. And, you know, I just kind of was just like a lot of trial and error. Right. You know, but I should have had to talk with her and said, like, look, hey, you know, I want to do this, I want to do that, but, like, yo, tell me, like, if I'm doing this, like, do you like this, do you like that? Right. And I felt like if we would have had that discussion, it would have made our sex life a lot better.
A lot better, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like just reading body language was good enough for me to, like, okay, she's reacting this way when I do this, or she's reacting that way when I do that. Okay, maybe I should try doing this, but I'm just assuming that, you know what I mean? Instead of just coming right out and say like, yo, babe, like tell me what you like, what you don't like.
Right.
Just say it.
Right.
It doesn't make you less of a man. Like, look, I get it. Like, guys we have big egos and shit like that. Like, we always want to come into the, this engagement. Like, all right, like, yeah, we know everything. We done been through, we've had experiences. But, yo, like, it's okay to have that conversation with her and be like, yo, listen, like, tell me what you like. Because every girl's different.
Every girl
and every guy's different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I was open and honest with her or with other girls that I've had engagement with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I can't stand when a woman just wants to do missionary all the time.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Say
like,
that.
I want the doggy style. I want the cowgirl shit. I want to do it all.
Right.
Why the fuck are we just sticking to missionary? Like, are you just being lazy? Like,
do you think some women think that takes the emotion out of it?
It does.
You think some women think that?
Yeah.
Oh, I think sometimes too, but I just don't see how. Listen, if I love you, I'm going to love you whether I'm facing you or I'm facing the other way.
But be real with your man. Be like, yo, babe, like, yo, I want flip me the fuck over.
I'm going to love you more if you from behind.
Listen.
Specifically in front of a mirror.
I should have just been open and honest. Be like, yo, turn the fuck over.
Yeah, you should have been honest.
Be more aggressive. Like,
but see, now you know. I
learned.
Right, you learned. Right, you learned from it.
Because like looking back on it, I used to tell people it's like one thing I can't stand. I hate to say it like that, ladies, but that's just how I was feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bruh. Fun fact. All right. Y'all probably gonna be shocked. Jaw dropping shit.
Go ahead, say it.
I've never had doggy style done before. I never did doggy style before. No.
Never?
No. Well,
because you were with her for some time, right?
Right.
That's the thing.
But it was just like one of those moments where it was just like, like I come over, like we just.
Wait, but hold on. Okay, hold on, Harlem. Wait, I gotta get very specific with this.
You see? Like,
you mean to tell me?
I'm playing the room.
The what? No, that's just a bottle of water. Give me. It's fine. He didn't spill the water, guys. Don't worry. You mean to tell me you didn't disclose this on Dirty Talk?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that you don't know what it is to pull hair from behind? Like, you don't, seriously? Okay, see, this is why the host of Dirty Talk put out an ad for you during the show, and we're about to do the same shit right now. Like, I'm gonna need somebody. Okay, I'm looking at the camera. I'm gonna need someone to hit me the fuck up, let me know, or I'm gonna tag his shit in my show description. Okay, so he can know what it's like. He needs practice in pulling hair while hitting it from the back.
And I have big hands, ladies, but just know I can be very gentle.
He can be very gentle.
Like, I cook, so I can be very delicate when it comes to certain dishes. Like,
very particular too.
Very particular.
Yes, that is very true. Okay, so y'all already know. Y'all gonna hit me up, and then we're gonna get you to Harlem. Now, because this is like, see, that's things that for me, it's like, this is why conversation is important.
Yeah.
Like, but now you know, right? You won't have that problem. Listen, the moment you meet that woman, the first thing that's gonna happen to her is she's gonna get bent over. Okay?
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's what the fuck is gonna happen. That's it. End of story. So with that being said, yes, conversation is important. I have a lot of that still to this day, as y'all know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I learned from my trial and error.
Yeah.
And I think, as two people who have had different experiences with trial and error in not communicating effectively when it comes to sex and then doing so, I think that just goes to show why it's so important, because at the end of the day, at some point in time, if anybody, decides to have a full-blown relationship, you're going to want to have that completely transparent for the rest of your relationship, because no relationship is perfect.
Right.
People go through shit. That's
all
the
the
bottom
time.
line.
Yeah.
So the less shit you can possibly go through and make sure you effectively communicate, the better.
Yeah.
So don't let sex be the topic that you can't talk about.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. That's how I feel.
It's true. It's true, because I think, like, if you can have the sex talk with your mate or with your friends with benefits or whoever it is, I think that it makes any other conversation, even outside of sex, much easier. Much, much easier. Because I feel like having a sex talk is probably the toughest conversation you can ever have with whoever it is you're having that engagement with.
Let me snap my fingers on that. Amen.
Okay?
Yes.
If you can have the sex talk and get through that without a scratch,
you can talk about anything.
You can talk about anything.
Yeah. The hardest of the hardest topics you can talk about. Yeah.
Like, you don't need to go see a therapist. You don't need to be on the OWN network and fucking go see Ayala or whatever.
Ayala.
Like, well,
Ayala. What's her name?
What's her name?
I forgot.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, she's known for fucking fixing.
Shout out to my therapist, Terry, though.
Yeah, shout out to Terry. She gets paid by the hour, but she's good.
She do. Terry be looking out for me.
Word. No. She's helped out a lot.
Terry's
a lot of
my
ways.
girl.
But all I'm saying is that as long as you can have the sex talk with your mate and you can be open and honest about all of these things without, it getting, like really, really intense and like really like, aggressive where like you're talking shit to each other or whatever. Like, well, if you are talking shit to each other, like if it gets to the bedroom and that shit like trickles into your sex life and it makes it better, whatever. But whole point is what I'm saying is that if you're open and honest about your sexual, like, all that stuff, I think that everything else in your relationship becomes easier because like you've already had the most challenging discussion in your relationship,
right?
Which is sex. Like, who doesn't love sex?
Right. No, you're right. You're 1,000% right. I love that we had this conversation. Yeah. Exactly why I wanted to talk to you about it. We're gonna go right into the third segment. This is just a quick little segment. I decided to just revamp it a little bit. And for those who are tuning in for the first time, this is a brand new segment to you. For those who have been here fucking with me for some time, you know that Double or Nothing was for keeping it raw and to go on a raw rant. But now the segment to go on a raw rant of all the shit we are pissed and completely over, it is the new segment called OverDose. Okay? OverDose segment. Do you have something you want to get off your chest real quick?
I do.
Okay. Shoot it. Let's go.
And I think you kind of touched on this last week with Cherry Wine. I think about the Dr. Dre and Nicole Young shit, right?
The newest shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody knows already that Dr. Dre's, it says estranged wife.
You know I hate that.
Yeah, I know you hate that word. Yeah. His wife, who soon to be will be his ex-wife, who's currently going through a divorce with him, and they're trying to settle, and she's trying to get like what, $2 million a month.
A ridiculous breakdown.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting. I just recently heard, and I think you sent me
it was today that I saw her.
Yeah, that now she's actually got a lawsuit against Dr. Dre for his trademark of not only his name, but his first classic album, The Chronic.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's bad enough you want to take this guy and get everything you could possibly get out of this man. But now you're on top of that, you're throwing a lawsuit on top of the divorce, and you're trying to sue him for trademarks of his, not only his name, but the fucking Chronic album.
Right.
Yo, it's just like that song says, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks, man.
Honestly, like, listen, like, I'm all for my women. I'm all for, if you haven't heard it, go to 2 episodes ago, episode 28 with Miss Cherry Wine from Wine Time Podcast.
Shout out to Cherry.
Okay, the bottom line is sometimes these ridiculous amount of $2 million, whatever the fuck it is for spousal support, it is just too much. I think with why this is so upsetting is because now she's coming for him way deeper. It's his trademark, it's his name, and it's The Chronic. The problem is this. I think this is when it becomes a little bit insulting, and it does get messy, and it does get very disrespectful. Because, listen, if you feel like you are owed something, I get it. Put your number to it, and I get it. You've been his wife for how long? I get it. I'm not saying walk away with absolutely nothing. Although I do feel that if you're in love, you're in love.
Right.
And money should not be a factor. Okay, that is the one little side of Ms. D that is very traditional and old school. But I do think it's fucked up. She's coming for him way too deep. It's like if my ex-husband, y'all know I'm divorced, and because I made more money, I almost had to pay spousal support. Okay, he didn't come for me for that. But it's like if he would have decided to file a lawsuit against me because while I was with him, I was able to get my bachelor's and my master's, and he felt you know, he had rights over that of some sort. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, no, I'm the one who went to class, not you. I'm the one who put the work in for this degree, not you. So why the fuck should you be given anything?
You wasn't with me shooting
from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that. Like, and listen, I'm not a millionaire like Dr. Dre. I'm just saying, it's the overall picture.
Right.
That's all. So thank you for ranting on that. I appreciate you. Yeah. You're over it. That's his overdose.
It's just like how you always say, it's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It is disgusting because because like I feel like honestly, she's not gonna stop there.
Right.
Like I feel like on top of the divorce proceedings and now this lawsuit that she's now hanging over his head, like she's not gonna stop at all to try to make this man's life a living hell for the rest of his life. Point blank period. It's like, yo, this girl is going above and beyond. Like she's reaching.
Oof.
She's reaching.
She reaching. I would say for the stars, but it's more like hell.
Yo, like it's just nasty.
What's that saying? Hell hath no fury
hell,
like
hell
a woman scorns.
When a woman scorns. Woo! Like I mean, yo, like I did not see this shit coming.
Listen.
And the thing is that you know she's not gonna just stop there. What's next? A tell-all book. She's gonna disclose every single fucking thing that you could never think that Dr. Dre has ever done to her. She's gonna put out a fucking tell-all book. It's gonna be a New York Times bestseller. The whole point is I'm trying to say is that yo, Nicole Young, you fucked up.
I appreciate you sharing your overdose of this week. I'm gonna close out the show, but with one last note because it's something I'm definitely over it. I'm over the fact that people are still not wearing masks. Please put on your fucking mask. Mask violations are starting at $50. Seriously, did you not hear what happened to Harlem years ago with the turnstile? It was like $50, the little summers he got. And the shit caught up to him. Man. All right, it's $50 for the mask. Don't risk it. Be responsible. Cut the shit out. Pandemic is still in existence. It has not been over, okay? Coronavirus is real. Yeah. And that's the bottom fucking line. Just wear your fucking mask. Protect yourselves. Protect other people. But mostly protect yourselves. Like, if you are feeling comfortable getting on the motherfucking train without a mask, you have a problem. You have a problem. And that's it. That was my overdose of the week because I'm over it. Completely fucking over it.
Like, yo, if you can prevent this shit now, just wear the fucking mask. Like, I get it. Like, we don't have a vaccine. And I know when the vaccine does come out, there's going to be a lot of skepticism and people are very resistant to it. They're not going to want to take it. But like they said, if you're not going to do the vaccine, at least wear your fucking mask.
Just wear your mask.
Just wear your mask.
And Harlem, I want to thank you for coming on the show. It's not the first time you're going to hear Harlem on Raw Talk because we always going to have him on. This has been another episode, another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. I am your host, Misty, and you will tune in next week. Bye. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And we are streaming on all platforms. Check us out on Apple and Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Now let's talk about it.